Today, Laurie, we've got something a little bit different. Now, I've heard of these. It's the first time I've ever been in the presence of these.
Are you in awe?
Well, they're quite something.
Our tables never looked so ugly and kitsch.
They look very different to everything else that we normally open. But I know the name Bell's, blended Scotch. We have Bell's Decanters here. 3 of them. An 8-year-old and 2 non-age Bells.
Yeah.
Tell me about these.
So, Bell's Decanters were first released, I think the first one was Christmas 1988.
Okay.
And they started bringing them out in quick succession. So it was every single Christmas up to 2000 and something. But they started also releasing ones for like royal celebrations. Okay. So, you know, birthdays of princesses and wedding anniversaries and all this sort of stuff. And I've got, unfortunately, quite a lot of experience with these because prior to
when you were in
wonderful
auctions.
time at Bevvy, I worked in auctions and everybody collected these.
So everybody thought these were going to be collected.
Everybody thought these were going to be their pension. Everybody bought Christmas 1988, 89. Thought, this is great, we need to buy the whole set and we'll stick them in the loft. They'll be worth a fortune. But the problem was there were so many of them, the actual core product of the whiskey wasn't anything special. So as you say, it's just bells.
Is it just
8-year-old bells?
It's just blended bells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just bells. And there was loads of them, and everybody collected them. So it got to a stage where everybody had this collection of maybe 20, 25 different Bell's Decanters, tried to put them to auction. The market was flooded. People had opened them. They realised it was just bells. And yeah, for my time in auctions, we actually introduced a rule where we wouldn't accept them.
Oh, really?
People would bring them and say, but I've got 50 of them. It's like, well, that's even more reason that we're not going to accept them.
Wow.
There's one auction house I was in, we had a box of them. We used it as a doorstop.
Okay.
That was the only purpose they provided. And I've opened maybe 2 or 3 in the past, because the other issue, like working in auctions, it's all about getting bottles in and getting bottles out. Anything that's low value and big and bulky and fragile is like a combination of all the worst things that you don't want.
Okay.
And these are notorious for leaking or also having a low fill level as well. Obviously, they're all ceramic. You can't see if they're half full or totally full or whatever. So there's just so many of them about. I think the summary of the whole thing was there's a Bell's Decanters Collectors Club, or Bell's Decanters Association. And I once received correspondence from the chairman at an auction, and he sent a handwritten letter. And this was in 2021, I think, which I think gives you a rough idea of the demographic of the people that are collecting Bell's Decanters.
And so Bell's a 40% blended Scotch whisky.
Yeah.
These have all been in their ceramic decanters for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So they're probably not even going to be 40% anymore, especially if you're saying they're not that well sealed.
Yeah, I think that it's not an ideal container for whiskey for a long period of time.
Something different.
It is something different. So the 3 we've got today... Well, not that it makes any difference. We have so this is 8th of August 1988, commemorate the birth of Princess Beatrice.
Okay.
This one, what have you got, is the marriage of Prince Andrew with Sarah Ferguson. And that one is 50th golden wedding anniversary of King and Queen, isn't it?
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So I think the interesting thing will be, are they any good and are they all...
Are they the same? Let's get them poured and see how they look.
Yeah. I mean, the fill levels feel...
Is it corks?
I think it is corks, yeah. At auctions, we used to do the shake test. I mean, that's a disaster. These all feel quite full, actually. Let's see. Oh, this one's come out like a dream.
2 out of 3 is not bad. It's like half empty. I have never... Whoop.
Smells alright, actually.
Right.
Should we see?
Nice, a wee second.
Oh man, you've made a right mess of that. This is the first time we've used our tool. I mean, it looks like Wolverine.
Which I've never done before. So let's see how well this works.
I'm hoping this works much better than the old corkscrew method. We had a few comments on YouTube, actually, people suggesting this device, which Ross has made a mess of. I think it's
great.
Anyway, pour it out. Let's see how we get on. So one of these was 8 years old, did you say?
This one.
That's the 8-year-old. There's no age statement on these.
This one's got a bit of cork in it, but other than that, that looks a little darker than the middle one.
It does. It smells better than I thought, actually, because standard bells that you'd get in the supermarket these days is fairly kind of grain heavy and fairly boring, very light.
I actually kind of like the nose. It smells a bit like there's a touch of chlorine to it. A wee bit of kind of public swimming pool about it. But it's very light and approachable out with that.
Ooh. Smells better than it tastes.
Well, you have to stick your nose in the second one. Oh, these smell...
Oh, that smells worse. These remind me of, you know, the Royal Salute decanters.
Ah, the Chivas.
Some of them are great, but they're also 21 years old, so that gives it a bit of an advantage. That's a bit chemically. So they're not... Yeah, it's a bit rough. They're not all the same.
I mean, they're both very... They're both very easy drinking. This one smells the same as the other.
Yeah.
This one's 8 years old.
Yeah. I think this set has just sort of become a bit of a joke in sort of whiskey collecting circles.
Well, I'm glad that we can get rid, or we can open three of these decanters after 25 plus years.
In the world.
They
have got that, you know, that flavour, that texture that you get with old whiskey. It's been in bottle for 20, 30 plus years. It's got a bit of that.
I don't think any of them taste bad. I'd like to try a standard Bell's next to them, maybe see how that compared. But
I think they've got a bit of depth to them, actually. I think they're alright. Not brilliant.
So I think you must have preferred this one then. Did you prefer the 8? Because they were more complimentary about that.
That and that. Middle one was a bit...
Maybe it's a design issue.
Potentially. This tall neck ruined it. But I think it's fine. It's pleasant. I think if somebody gave me a box of them, I'd probably just put it all into a decanter or something, and it's fine.
I think there's a reason why we're not seeing anybody else bottle blended whiskey into decanters.
Yeah, ceramic's not great for long-term storage. But it's good to try, good to open them. It's not something that a lot of people get a chance, because a lot of people are familiar with this range, but not a lot of people have tried it. So I'd say if there's an auction or whatever, and they're selling these for £5-10 each, for a pleasant drinking whiskey, it does the job.
Sure.
You're not convinced? No?
It tastes like Bell's.
I think it's better than regular Bell's.
Tastes like Bell's and the presentation looks mental. But really cool to share it with you. This is something that is...
I'll pick this one so it's alright.
Once in a lifetime.
Cheers.
Cheers.
If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bevvy content. We want to hear what you think, your best whiskey experiences, the whiskies you want us to try. It's a really exciting journey we're on, so make sure to join us. Download the Bevvy app on Google Play and App Store to keep track of your whiskey journey, connect with your whiskey friends, keep track of your favourites, anything you could ever want to do with whiskey, all in one place. It's the definitive whiskey companion.